I'm fixing to do a poem about a legend. He was also one of my best friends. His name was Gary Edwards. He's from Silverton, Texas. And everybody called him HootiBob, knowed him. I was a pallbearer at his funeral 19 years ago, and I wrote this poem for his funeral, and Margie had it. Margie was Gary's wife, and she mailed me the original copy, October 14th, 2000. And I never was able to say it at the funeral. Charlie Bomer said it for me. I couldn't get it out. But I know a lot of y'all on here on Facebook knew Gary, and everybody that knew him, that worked around him, probably would tell you he was the most natural cowpuncher they'd ever seen. And he's just a hell of a hand, hell of a good guy. Anyway, I call this poem HootiBob. Well, he was just 15, full of pride when he throwed that cotton sack down. Said, I ain't got time to pick his stuff. There's too many good horses around. All alone, he headed north and ended up at the old J.A.'s. That's where he learned to set a pitching horse and tie a steer down, so they say. He told the hunting mavericks in the early morning light about running through the cedar breaks and how the old timers taught him right. A short while later, he heard that Wagner's had some bad horses and wild cattle, so he hired out to the big 3Ds with a broke-in bed and saddle. He said he got his share of rank ones, but it didn't burn him out. He said them Wagner broncs would make you ride, that they were big and bad and stout. He spent a summer in the bronc pen. Said he never had so much fun. Them colts would fight every morning, and most of the time he won. Excuse me, Cheech, you need by? Guess I was in his way. Well, he was a real cow puncher. He'd ride at home on any wagon. He was proud of what he could do horseback, but he never took up bragging. Spring and fall, hot or cold, he'd roll his bed on the ground. He didn't have to be there very long till he had friends all around. Most of northwest Texas was what Gary called his home, but sometimes in his later years, he felt the need to roam. He drifted up to Montana, where the winters get plumb rough. I guess it didn't bother him much. I think he's about half tough. He lived out in the Nevada desert for a little while, then the mountains of New Mexico, where he said he lived in style. He'd show up down in Turkey, it seemed, from time to time. He'd visit friends and have some fun, but drifting was always on his mind. Gary wasn't made to settle, it just wasn't in his blood. Even if he wanted to, he knew he never could. HootiBob was one of the best, a cowpuncher to the end. And I'm one of the luckiest men alive to have been able to call him my friend. Now, for all of us that knew him here, we're really feeling bad. And Gary, he's in the best outfit now, and he'll never again be sad. And I'll bet his string of horses are the best he's ever seen. And I'll bet the country's rough and wild and the grass is fresh and green. And I'll bet the work is fun and easy with good help all around. And the only rules are, if they blow up, stick 'em. If they run off, tie 'em down. Now, I can't take credit for this last line. That's straight out of a Sam Brown book, The Long Grift. Sam Brown's another real good friend of mine. He's a cowboy author. Just had to put that in there. I copied that straight out of his book, because that's one of my favorite lines ever. Well, y'all keep snapping. Catch you next week.